You're sweating.
No, I'm not.
You are.
It's my
Your
makeup.
gloss. Of course it
It's
is.
my makeup.
Of course it is.
Hi everyone. I'm going to be unboxing the iPhone SE and then taking photos with the SE and with the 11 Pro to compare the quality of photos between the two. And then I'm going to show you all the shots that we're going to film in this park. It might rain in any second, so we have to get to it. Guess what just arrived? iPhone SE. Well, my husband's iPhone SE. And I'm about to deny him one of the biggest joys from buying a new phone. Let's unbox it. He got the red one. I'm surprised he got the red one. He tends to like very inconspicuous accessories. Before I unbox this, let me give you a bit more context. I used to have the first iPhone SE. I was such a big fan of that phone. I was hoping that Apple would release another small phone. Unfortunately, they haven't released any small phones since, so I decided to take the plunge. I needed to upgrade my phone, and at the same time, I was looking to purchase a camera. That was around the same time that iPhone 11 Pro came out. So I decided to go for the iPhone 11 Pro and not buy a camera and just use my phone as a camera. And that's actually what I'm using to film. But if I had held off buying the iPhone 11 Pro up until now, I would have probably gone for the iPhone SE because I love the idea of Apple releasing a phone that is much more affordable than the latest iPhones on the market, that has as high a performance in most things, but without much of a hardware improvement. I'm game. My husband is moving from the 8 to the SE, so he's going to notice a marked improvement, but I don't think the improvement would be as drastic as if I had upgraded from the previous iPhone SE to this iPhone. So let's unbox. This is the most satisfying part. Oh, I ruined it. It's open. Okay. I love how the packaging is a bit embossed. Let me show you. You can feel the edges of the phone. You could feel the edge of the home button as well. Love it. This is so sexy. Oof, I love it. Okay, so I can feel that it's lighter than the iPhone 11 Pro, and it looks almost identical to the 8. The greatest thing about this phone is that it uses the same chip as the iPhone 11 Pro, which makes the phone much faster and much more responsive to things like switching between apps. And the fact that the chip has been updated would mean that this phone would take better photos and videos, even if the hardware or lenses used in the camera are the same as an iPhone 8. I feel like I'm leaning towards the camera. Let me move closer. Better, I think. where were we? This is basically the iPhone 8's display. It's a 4.7-inch screen. So apparently this phone has the same bezels as in the iPhone 8. So that's kind of the space outside of the screen where you don't have a visible part of the screen, but where you have, in this case, kind of like a black border. A lot of people love bezels because you feel like you can hold the phone more securely. That's one of the issues with the iPhone 11. Even though you have kind of less bezel, you want your fingers to be on the screen when you're holding it, so you tend to have less of a strong grasp and a higher likelihood of dropping the phone. So this still has the home button like in the iPhone 8, and you still get haptic feedback. So you can notice that there's no headphone jack on this phone. And let me unbox the earpods that came with this. The earpods that come with the iPhone SE are the ones with a lightning connector that connect to this. Okay, just to finish unboxing, over here we have the charging cable and the adapter. Let's talk about the photos and videos that this phone produces. It films in 4K and 60 frames per second, so that's perfect. It also records in stereo audio. So that's when the source of the audio moves around in the video and the person listening to the audio can hear this person moving around. I'll demonstrate that once this is up and running. When it comes to photos, this phone apparently doesn't produce photos as well as the iPhone Pro in terms of color and clarity, but we're gonna test that out. This phone takes photos in portrait mode, but apparently it's not as good as in the iPhone 11 Pro because this camera only has a single lens. So if you have a picture in portrait mode where the background is blurred, you might notice a bit of a blur around the actual object or person whose photo is being taken. This phone unfortunately doesn't have night mode and it doesn't take photos as well in low light, but we're going to test it out. One of the biggest complaints about this phone is the battery life. Apparently the battery of the iPhone SE lasts just about a day if you're an average user. So if you use your phone heavily, you'd expect to have to charge it before the end of the day. That's it, iPhone unboxed. I'm going to give my husband the honor of turning his phone on. Once this is up and running, we're going to do a bunch of tests to compare and contrast this phone with the iPhone 11 Pro. So keep watching. See this black border at the bottom, and it goes kind of up on the sides and a bit on the top. So this is the SE and this is the 8, and you can see from the back they're pretty identical. Again, this is the SE and this is the 8. The only thing that you can tell is different is that the logo of the SE is in the middle. The logo of the 8 was a bit up. Sorry, there's too much reflection for you to be able to see, but pretty much identical to each other.
Anyone want a wife? She's great.
Okay, so we're going to be demonstrating the stereo audio of the SE. So I'm going to be moving to my husband's right side, and then I'm going to be moving to his left. My hair's going. Is my hair frizzy? Is it really frizzy?
It's like a bundle of candy floss.
Thank you.